Yeah, so it sounds like you might be making a parallel there between the way that the Soviet Union fell apart as a result of the reliance on the kinds of AI systems that they had then. And maybe are you suggesting that this system that we have today could fall apart because of the AI systems that we have today?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it'll be the same sort of issues. Bad data, the fact that it doesn't take into account the fact that things change quickly. The fact that it doesn't really pay attention to human nature and how people work. People are not logical. Come on, right? But we do know a lot about how people make decisions. And if you build something that is complementary to that, you get better system performance, system including the people, right?
Right. Yeah. So I have a quote from you that humans aren't rational. Instead, they're what you call social foragers who learn by watching others. So they're kind of like picking up social behaviors from cues, seeing other people. I see it. I see that in the way that my puppy learns as well.
It's true of almost all animals and certainly all social animals. I mean, just to illustrate it, nobody ever reads manuals. Nobody ever reads the whole newsletter when they get a newsletter. Um, what we do is we watch what other people do. We ask them one or two questions that we don't understand, and that's how we sort of pick things up. Danny Kahneman, who's a Nobel Prize economist, who invented this fast and slow thinking stuff people have heard of, estimated that probably 95% of all the things we do come from other people, from the culture around us. This is the way we do it here. We talk about company culture, we talk about, the culture of the country. And what that means is that there's certain ways you do things and certain ways you think about things. And we've all sort of agreed that this is the right way to do it. That's our wisdom. Doesn't mean it's right. Don't be suckered by that, right? And most of what we do is that, and then we add a little bit of our own circumstances to it for that other 5%. Other 5% is really important because it's what makes you you, but it's not the majority. And so, what you need to do when you design systems is you need to think about the context, the human context of somebody who's making the decision. And this is where things like, the way social media is designed, thinks of people as just individual. And then it says, oh, well, we'll just use machine learning to get people that have similar feature vectors. They don't think about the community aspect of it. So you get echo chambers. Same thing as we've seen that in social media, people decided you could make a lot more money if you allowed followers and a little bit of advertising, right? And so that's what we got. And the consequence is that the only people you really hear on social media are these sort of very loud voices that have done everything they can to be heard. They're trying to be violent and crazy and this and that. And we've been able to show very, very definitely that's where polarization comes from. You get rid of these big voices, and you discover that people actually pretty much agree with each other. And so if you're building a decision system within a company or wherever, right, you can't have these super loud voices. Otherwise, you're just going to get craziness going on. Most people are pretty sensible. If you sort of focus them on that and prevent the big voices, we find you get much better decisions. Uh, another thing that sort of comes from this, right, is people think, oh, well, human decision making, that's only like approximate, and really what we want is like a logical framework and all that sort of thing. Well, it in the experiments that we do, and we do this like with people who trade $10 million a day. So these are people who are super quant, super expert. This is what they're paid to do, right? If they pay attention to the other traders, they do better, reliably better. So all those equations, I mean, trading currencies, for instance, is a real traditional, like, you can write down the equations, okay? But you have to pay attention to other people to avoid edge risks, unusual things, things that are changing. And actually, we probably all remember 2008 when the financial system almost fell apart. The core thing was they had an equation and they didn't notice that that equation had tail risk, so unusual events. And when an unusual event happened, it almost took down the whole system. The people who listened to other people, who were also looking at actual human behavior in their equations, um, came through it okay. The people who were just following the logic got creamed. It's just we are not bad at making decisions, particularly in small groups. It's good for us to listen to the numbers, absolutely. But if you just follow the numbers, you lose the context, you lose the changeability of the situation, you lose the possibility of rare events, and you tend to come up with systems that don't perform as well as if you do take the sort of human context and thinking into account. That's what the book is about, incidentally, right? It's like, how do we make systems, AI systems, that are really robust to weird stuff, right? Because that's where they fall apart. You get something that's weird or an edge case, things can blow up in very unexpected ways. We hopefully all know that, right? And that's why some of this human reluctance to do new things, it's attraction to where unusual stories. Some of these traits we have are actually extremely valuable in making sure that systems don't blow up.